You know, from the ground literally shaking under our feet to the sky just unleashing its fury. The forces of nature are, well, they're both awesome and seriously dangerous. So today we're going to break down some of the most powerful events on Earth and create a simple guide to help you stay prepared. Let's dive in. So think about it. We're looking at 20 different forces of nature here, but they all funnel down to one single vital question. Are you prepared? Our whole goal here is to give you the key info you need so you can confidently answer, "Yup, I am." We're going to start with the very ground we stand on. You know, the stuff that feels so solid and reliable, until it's not. These are the disasters that bubble up from deep within the earth, and they often hit with almost no warning at all. First on the list, the earthquake. It's such a simple definition for a really terrifying event, right? The ground just shakes, suddenly and strongly. And that's the key word, the scary part, suddenly. There's no time to sit and think. You just have to react. So, how do you react? Okay, first things first, immediate shelter. Get under something solid like a heavy table or desk. Then, once the shaking finally stops, and only then, your next move is to get outside into an open space, far away from anything that could fall on you. And this is where things get really interesting and, a bit terrifying. These events can create a kind of domino effect. An earthquake out at sea can trigger a massive tsunami. A volcano can cause landslides. It's a powerful reminder that one threat can easily cascade into another. Are you starting to see a pattern here? For a tsunami, you get to high ground. For a volcano or a landslide, you evacuate and get away from the danger zone. The core idea, the one thing that connects them all, is putting distance between you and whatever the threat is. Okay, let's shift our focus and look up. We've covered the ground, now let's talk about threats that come from the atmosphere. These are the storms that brew in the sky, and they can bring everything from insane winds to extreme, life-threatening temperatures. And when you think of a storm from the sky, what's the first image that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's the tornado. It's defined by that unmistakable, powerful spinning column of air. It's the sheer speed and focused path of destruction that makes it so incredibly dangerous. Now, this is a complete 180 from an earthquake, isn't it? For an earthquake, you get out when it's over. For a tornado, you get in. You need to get to the most protected, central part of a building. A basement is best, or a small room with no windows, and just get as low as you possibly can. Okay, I absolutely love this because it clears up something people ask about all the time. Hurricane, cyclone, typhoon, what's the actual difference? Well, take a look. As you can see, there is no difference. They are the exact same type of storm. The only thing that changes is the name, and that just depends on where in the world it happens. It's all about geography. And because they're basically the same storm with different names, the way you prepare is exactly the same, no matter what you call it. You get inside, you stay clear of windows, you have your emergency stuff ready to go, and you listen to what the experts are saying. Of course, wind and rain aren't the only things the sky can throw at us. A wildfire can fill the air with smoke and embers for miles, while a sandstorm, well, it fills it with a wall of sand. In both of these cases, the biggest danger is what's getting into your lungs, and the fact that you can barely see. I think this breakdown is super helpful. Notice how simple the pattern is. For anything heat-related, like a wildfire or heat wave, the mission is to stay cool or just get out. For cold-related dangers like a blizzard, the mission is to stay warm and stay inside. It's pretty straightforward, but it's a principle that can save your life. All right, next up, we're looking at what might be nature's biggest paradox, water. It's absolutely essential for life, right? But it can also be a huge danger in its two extremes, when you have way, way too much and when you have none at all. So first, the threat of having way too much. A flood is basically when land that's normally dry gets completely covered in water. It can happen in an instant, like a flash flood, or build up slowly over days. Either way, the results are always devastating. There are two golden rules for flood safety that you have to remember. Number one, get to higher ground, period. Number two, and I really can't stress this enough, never, ever try to walk or drive through floodwaters. It only takes a few inches of moving water to knock you down, and a foot of it can sweep your car away. You just don't know how deep it is or what's hidden underneath. And then, on the complete opposite end of the scale, you've got drought. This one's more of a silent, slow-moving disaster. A long-term lack of rain makes the land incredibly dry, which messes with water supplies, farming, and seriously increases the risk of wildfire. So, you see, coping with a drought isn't really about that split-second decision-making. It's more about playing the long game. It's about being proactive, saving water in our everyday lives, planning for shortages, and just being smarter about how we use it. Okay, our final threat is a little different. It doesn't come from the ground or the sky. It's biological. It's a force of nature, but on a microscopic scale. A pandemic happens when a disease just goes global, crossing borders and affecting everyone. It's a stark reminder that some of nature's biggest threats are the ones we can't even see. And the tools for coping with this are all about public health and personal hygiene. You know the drill by now, right? Simple things like wearing a mask, washing your hands, and keeping your distance. These actions become our main line of defense in a global health crisis. So, we've gone all over the map, haven't we? From deep inside the earth to high in the sky and even to microscopic threats. So, what's the common thread here? Let's boil all of this down into a single, ultimate guide to being prepared. You know, when you really look at it, it all comes down to this. It doesn't matter if it's a hurricane, an earthquake, or a wildfire. Preparedness is built on a few key pillars. First, being informed, listening to the experts and knowing your plan. Second, having your resources. That means an emergency kit ready to go. And third, taking action. Knowing how to protect yourself, whether that means finding shelter, getting to high ground, or evacuating. This is your foundation for safety.
At the end of the day, knowing all this stuff is great, but knowledge is only powerful if you actually do something with it. So the question isn't just if you're prepared, it's what are you going to do about it starting today? Are you going to build that kit? Check your evacuation route? It all starts with one small step. What's yours going to be?